Hey, if you found this video, you might be searching for things like, I just got diagnosed with epilepsy, what happens now? I'm new to epilepsy, epilepsy resources, anything to do with epilepsy, my video might have come across. And I am just starting this account, and I'm really doing this because I've been on the journey of epilepsy with my son for 2.5 years now, and it has been really fucking hard. Really, really, really fucking hard. It is not an easy journey. And you'll listen, there's gonna be lots of videos. I'm just literally putting everything out there because what I really hope from this channel that I'm creating I want nothing more than to spread information and our story and our experiences, because if it can help one single child, person, mother, aunt, cousin, whoever you know that is dealing with epilepsy, or if it's you yourself that's dealing with it and you just don't have anybody, we would like to be the source for, I don't know, something, relief, to hear about the things that are going on with us, like, so that you're not alone. Like, I've joined Facebook groups with epilepsy stuff, and it's so scattered, and it's hard to connect with like one person and follow their journey. So learning is in really small little chunks, but yeah, I also have ADHD, so I'll be all over the place probably. So if you can relate with that, welcome. Yeah, so the purpose of this channel is really to tell mine and my son's story. Now, I just proposed this to him the other day. That was like, I think that I'm gonna start a YouTube channel just for getting information out there, just so that people can see a story as it progresses. And believe it or not, 2.5 years into the journey, this is still really early. And my son got diagnosed later in life. Like, it wasn't something he was born with. There wasn't a traumatic brain injury. There wasn't, like, we still don't know what caused his epilepsy. There is something called developmental epilepsy, which he could fall in that category because his started at about 14. But his story is not done being written. And for the first 3 years that he was having seizures, they were all at night in his sleep, and we didn't even know. And that is fucking terrifying, because his specific kind of epilepsy has a 70% higher risk of death than other epilepsies. All stuff I've had to learn along the journey, and switching doctors and fucking insurance and like getting help and getting answers and finding resources. I mean, just talking about it now, I'm still stressed out about it. It's not like I have all the answers here. That's not really what you'll find. I'm gonna post as many resources and as much information as I can as we learn it, So there's gonna be long form videos probably. I'm gonna do some shorts. And again, I am not looking for anything other than helping other people on this journey, in whatever position you might play in somebody's life with epilepsy, or you having it yourself. I had this wonderful person say to me, that because I talk about it a lot or I explain things that are going on, she's like, you're a really wonderful source of knowledge for learning about epilepsy. And I thought, if she thinks that, and she's just somebody who hears me tell stories about it sometimes, I was like, maybe there's validity in that. And again, putting it online and making it searchable so that people have it when they need it. The other thing is, I don't know how mine and my son's story is going to end. He's only been diagnosed for the last 2.5 years. We're constantly changing medicines. It's been, there's just been a lot of hospitalizations and a lot of guessing and a lot of switching doctors, or not even getting doctors who know what they're talking about. We get a lot of people's opinions. Every time you add in a new neurologist, they want to try something different. It's just not easy. And I think that epilepsy it's not like a disability that you can tell somebody has. So you have no idea what they're struggling with. And so when some people are like, oh, he has epilepsy, so he has seizures, it's so much more than that. Like, with epilepsy comes severe depression. I mean, really wondering about your place in the world. You question your faith, or you become faithless after this, because you're just like, why would this happen to me? I'm not a bad person. There's all of this evolution of the story about how it changes when you get diagnosed with something, and there's no reason why. You're just like, this is now part of our life. This is what we're going to deal with. And how do we keep moving forward every day and not let it consume us in negative ways? I definitely have days where I cry and where I'm just like, I'm grief stricken over the loss of his future. Every plan that he made, not finishing high school, just all the things that he's not going to get the normal of. There's still grief. It's still hard. But there's also hope. He's getting ready to start a journey that I'm excited about. And maybe that's why, this is now the time to start the channel, because now he's going to put himself back in school. We had to take him out of school because his seizures and just the social stresses of high school were bringing on more problems than they were solving, and I had this goal. Yeah, my kid's going to, graduate high school. Everybody wants to see their kid walk, right? And it was just like I had to choose his mental health over my goal, dream, hope, desire to see him walk across the stage and hear his name called out. But in a few, well, it's like weeks now, 5 weeks, he's starting college, you know, and we're doing, so there's a lot of information on that. Like, all right, well, when you have a disability and you're in school, and we live in Florida, I should probably say that also. So we're dealing with the Florida system here, and every state has its own unique things that it does for different disabilities. And, you know, I mean, from medical marijuana and the uses of that and how young you can be and being a caretaker of a child and, you know, administering medical marijuana when they're under the age of 18, all the way to the systems that they put in place for people at jobs to protect them so they can't get fired. Going into school, he's going to have a certain, you know, paperwork that allows him to have time and space for testing, or if there's days when he has a seizure, maybe he's out for 4 days because he's in the hospital and they're, you know, running more tests or they're switching his medication or something, you know, there's just all these things, all of that stuff. I'm just going to continue to like vlog this, I guess. That's probably the best way to describe what this channel is going to be, is a vlog. And like I said, if I help one person, one child, one person with epilepsy, other family members that have people that are dealing with epilepsy, so that you can understand its effects better. Because I think that it's a silent thing that nobody really understands until you go through it, until you're witnessing seizures and hospitalizations and the, you know, person who has epilepsy falling apart, not knowing where to turn. Like, what does their life become? What are they allowed to do? They can't drive. They can't ride a bike. They can't go swimming alone. They can't climb ladders. They can't, you know, there's all these can'ts that all of a sudden you had free range to do whatever you want when you're 17 years old. And then you're like, nope, now we're going to treat you like you're an infant that needs to wear a helmet all the time. All these things you can't do. And just the toll that that takes on a person who is super carefree, very adventurous, you know, always being off with friends, wanting to just be involved, to the isolation and sort of people not wanting to be responsible for him if he does have a seizure when he's out with them. It's just a lot to go through. And so my name is Jamie. My son's name is Cameron. And he told me the other day that yes, he would get on here with me, which like shocks me. I don't know. I think we're both kind of very shy, but we've had to not be shy when you're dealing with stuff and you need to speak up for yourself. I think you really find your voice, whether it's your mom voice, your angry voice, your Karen voice, whatever fucking voice you find a voice to start demanding information, answers, seeking that next person, like the research that you do, you end up finding a voice where you have to stick up for yourself. And I think Cameron is finally ready to sort of share his journey, because it's been really hard for him. And, you know, like we talk all the time. I kind of raised my son on my own without his dad being around. So there's not really another person that's close in his life besides his grandmother, his aunt. He has a stepdad, you know, but the isolation that one feels when you're diagnosed with something and nobody really understands it, and you've got one person that's constantly there with you, that's mine and Cameron's story. And this is just the first video to start it all out. So if you're seeing this, thank you for being here. If you think that this channel could help somebody else, please pass it on. Just the more information that gets out there. I was so blindsided when all of this happened. I didn't even know that there were 3 years worth of things that I thought, you know, like I kept thinking, oh, nope, he's on drugs. Like the behavior changes, the attitude changes, the depression, the forgetfulness, the everything. I really suspected my child was on drugs, and I was having him like piss test by the cops because I was forcing it, because I was really afraid he was on drugs. I didn't know what was wrong with him. And no matter that he denied it, it was like, I don't do that. Like, I wouldn't do that. I was like, that it doesn't add up. Your behavior, like who you are now, you're angry all the time, just everything that was going on. We didn't know that he had epilepsy, and that maybe not every night, but a lot of times when you have a seizure, it erases your memories. The memory that you had for that day, it doesn't write to the brain. You know, it doesn't commit it to memory, it erases it. And so Cameron just started falling out of sync with who he was, what his life was, his goals, his passions, his desires, because every day it was like confusion and what day is it and where, you know, what am I even doing all this for? So all of that, getting into all of that. If you think this will be helpful for somebody, please share it, because that's what we're here trying to do. Thanks.